22-year-old Elizabeth BAIN was a student at the University of Toronto's Scarborough campus when she vanished on June 19, 1990. Her vehicle was found 3 days later with blood inside.
Elizabeth's body has never been found.
Police thought they had her killer early on in the investigation.
They didn't really leave much doubt in my mind that they were absolutely convinced that I had either killed Liz or that I knew what had happened to her.
Elizabeth BAIN's boyfriend, Robert Baltovich, was convicted of her murder. He spent 8 years behind bars before being deemed not guilty by the courts in 2008. The case remains unsolved. The Elizabeth BAIN case is one of the unsolved crimes we'll be taking a closer look at in the Tracking a Killer, the Cold Case Files podcast. As news reporters, we cover hundreds of crime stories, and usually each one has an ending. A suspect's arrested, there's a trial, and then a conviction. We're always looking for an ending, but these stories don't have one. We're going to be talking to the investigators who work on cold case files and to the victims' family members who are looking for answers, and maybe we can help them get those answers.
They were young girls killed for no reason.
Another case we will profile in Tracking a Killer, the Cold Case Files, involves the Wendy Tedford and Donna Stern homicides. They were two 17-year-old friends who had planned a night of shopping and a sleepover on October 25th, 1973, that never happened. They were found the next day, shot dead in a field in the North York area of Toronto. They had been sexually assaulted.
I was in such shock, I could barely move.
The victims may be gone, but investigators are still working on these cold cases. They say they hope that by revisiting the cases in our podcast, it will raise awareness about these unsolved homicides and may even jog someone's memory and bring in new leads. Leads that could help them solve these crimes and bring those responsible to justice.
I'm sure there's a number of people that know who committed this crime.
So that's what we're waiting for, is a piece of that puzzle. Somebody knows something.
The victims' families want resolution.
She had 3 kids. They have a right to know what happened to their mother. Hoping sooner or later somebody will feel guilty and say something.
I will never give up. Never.
There is value in retelling these stories because, according to police, these cold cases can be solved even decades later. You can listen to Tracking a Killer, the Cold Case Files on the Frequency Podcast Network or wherever you get your podcasts. Phil Martino for CityNews 680.